Hello, my name's Fox, and I'm Fox, and I finished the last episode of Cloak and Dagger, a show I've been watching for a bit, which it's kind of good that I'm wearing this hoodie, because if you can't tell from the frayed ends, I've had this hoodie for about 10 years. This is an old hoodie, but, which works. But basically, this is Cloak and Dagger, the new, another show that's within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, some elements are even talked about in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I know. Because the company Roxxon is actually brought up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point. It's like a throwaway line or something. But yeah, this is a new MCU show, Cloak and Dagger. Been going for like the last month or so, and the last episode ended last Thursday, and I'm just getting to it right now. But basically, you follow... I'm just going to remember the names as Cloak and Dagger. Basically, just like all superheroes, they start off with someone they love dying. Whether that be, in Dagger's case, her father, and in Cloak's case, his brother. And basically, it's kind of more the brother's fault in some ends towards that. And, like, his brother's death is covered up as like a gang shooting by these crooked cops because the cops shot him, and like Daggers, it's like this whole conspiracy with this Roxxon company, and as the story goes on, it's honestly really good. It's very much in a similar vein as something like Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones, and less like a show, and less like the Arrowverse, where the Arrowverse is a weekly bad guy each, and basically could go on forever. This is more... what the heck happened? Hold on. Sorry. But this is more like a story that is being told from beginning to end. It's basically like an 8-hour movie or something like that. That is basically what this is, which isn't bad. It's freaking great. It's basically a Netflix show, just you actually have to wait week after week for it to come out. And honestly, I really do enjoy this. Even like how they use their special effects isn't like separate from something like the Netflix shows where they really try to stay far away from special effects. So, like, point where, like, if Jessica Jones picks up a car, we don't actually see her lift it. We just see her behind the car and it lifts up. And stuff like that, which, yeah, clever. It's more of a clever way to do these things. But in this case, like, you do actually see some CG, whether it be, I don't know if the glow effect or, like, Dagger's dagger is actually CG. I think that might actually just be, like, a prop that glows, which, good on them if they can make it a physical prop. Cloak's, like, darkness or whatever is something that actually is like CG. But the thing is, like, Cloak and Dagger are a group of characters I really didn't know about until I watched Ultimate Spider-Man, where like they appear for like an episode or so and you see them and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm like, these characters are kind of cool. And I like the whole thing, oh, Cloak and Dagger, ha. But like this one actually is pretty cool. And like even the beginning of the series, it kind of switches up your expectations where, like, you see the blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl wearing all white going to a club while you see, like, the boy in all black, and he looks kind of like a quote-unquote thug. And then it's flipped, then it, like, as you watch it, it immediately flips out and it says, like, oh, no, she's the one who's poor and lives in, like, a bad place. Well, he's, like, the rich, spoiled kid. Not rich... But he's like more of the rich kid who lives in the nice part of town and stuff like that. So immediately, like, the show kind of flips up your status quo on something, which is good. That's a good thing. And that's only like in the first episode. There's multiple different things. Even though there is a love interest for Cloak that's not Dagger, but in the end, you know that these two are going to get together eventually in some season. And basically the whole... And it's a really good show. It's not something along the lines of... And I like the Arrowverse, though. Arrowverse is like popcorn movie and stuff like that. That's a good... Those are fun things, especially the Flash. Those are fun things that, like, even if it's stupid at some point, it's like, all right, I can at least give it that. It's still fun. This is a good show. This has many twists. It has character. It's not afraid to kill off characters. Like there's this character who actually is like kind of getting close to Dagger, and there's actually kind of a cool relationship with like him and her mother, because they're kind of like boyfriend girlfriend, and like things happen again. Like characters that you kind of start liking and stuff like that could be killed off later on. And could be killed off because they're not afraid to kill off these characters who in any other show like the Arrowverse or something like that would be a character who would be reoccurring. Like comparing deaths to this as in the Arrowverse, which there's like multiple deaths in this show. In the Arrowverse, like what was it? In the Flash, the guy who was first Firestorm, the first half of Firestorm, when he died, I'm like, okay, when is he coming back? I didn't believe that he was dead. And even Black Canary, even though technically, yeah, they killed her off, they bring her back from an alternate time. As soon as I saw her pop up in an alternate time, I'm like, okay, that's how they're bringing her back. But yeah, like stuff like that. It's like in the Arrowverse, death usually doesn't mean the end. Unless the guys are like, oh yeah, I'm going to another show, so get me out of this. Axe me off, say I live in Quebec or whatever, just, do whatever. While in this, when someone dies, they die on camera, or we'll see their dead body, and that will still be a plot point. And again, it's cool, because this season, like, they don't start off with their abilities, they slowly have to develop them, of course, as Dagger learns how to summon light, as well as deal with her issues with her dad being gone, and basically trying to take down the company that, like, basically what happened was this rig exploded, which sent the dad and Dagger into the lake while Cloak and his brother are being chased because Cloak stole a radio when he was like 10, and they were gonna put it back. Cops found him, chased him to a dock. The thing exploded, and the cop thought it was a gunshot and shot the brother. And then basically they straight up cover that up, except for Cloak, and like his parents basically think he was lying about all that stuff, and thought like his brother was that his brother was a gangbanger or something. And slowly things are revealed to show like the true picture. They show their reveal, as well as like whatever this explosion was, which basically creates spoilers for it. Again, go check out the show. It basically creates rage zombies. Something in a similar vein to 28 Days Later. That's basically what they become. Basically consumed by. They're called terrors. And basically it's because of this strange energy that both of them even have now too, where she has this light energy which allows her to summon daggers, as well as view people's hopes, as well as be able to take those hopes away. And he has the ability to see their fears, which a lot of times looks like a horror film, which is freaking great. It's shot like a horror film. Like one point where like you see the mom's fear of like the older brother run off in like a grocery store, and you go around the corner, you just hear bang, and you see the younger like Cloak run off, and he's like, Brian, and the mom's like, no, Dad, bang, and she goes, you see like tombstones for both of her sons. I'm like, oh my god, it's so terrible, and stuff like that. Or like if the two of them put their hands together and touch someone, they can go into their dream and into their nightmares, and there's only certain doors that either of them can really open and stuff like that. It's a really good, I just got that the guy was in a coma at the end because okay, I get that now. But, because the main bad guy at one point. But yeah, and like, again, there's tons of twists and turns I don't even really want to spoil. But there's really good things, especially like, I want to say it's the second episode, where, they view each other's nightmares, or third or fourth one, where they view each other's things, where, Dagger sees in the Cloak, Cloak sees in the Dagger, and even though Dagger's one, like, it was her fear, and, like, seeing her dad being killed, so like, oh, that's bad, but I kind of really liked Cloak's a lot more, where, like, showed his fear, where it's, like, basically his whole thing is he's trying to catch the man, the cop with the scar. He's trying to catch him in the act and like throw him in, to kill him. And basically, you just see like multiple times him going over like there's a table of different weapons. Like he gets a gun, shoots the cop, and then like other cops come in and arrest him. And it's like done like slave colonial time look thing. And it's really cool each time. You just see like every time like it ends with him like getting hung or killed or something like that. And then like the other time Daggers is that she always runs away from her problems and all that stuff. And I really do like that episode a lot because in the end, like when it has all of the different weapons, Dagger basically goes, "You need to find another way," and she forms the dagger and puts it on the table. And that's when like Cloak sees that and then grabs that and like saying like that she's his way out. And then it's the similar way on the other side, and where Cloak says, "You have to face this. You have to face this," and stuff like that. And it's really good. I would, if you like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Punisher. If you like those, I would say definitely check these out. They're not as even then, like the Netflix ones don't really show. Maybe they do show much violence. I can't really remember like anything like super duper gory. But like they never really get that far. Even though the season finale for this ends with them shooting and killing a bunch of these rage zombies. But after a certain thing, it kind of stops that. After something happened, it stops the rage zombies. And I'm like, wait, did they just kill a bunch of people? Is that going to be on their heads now, or something like that? I don't know. But and also honestly, it kind of has a very and maybe that's just because of Infamous 2 taking place in. It's called New Marais in that, but it's basically New Orleans. And like I kind of really felt like a lot of like Infamous in this, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm like, oh, that's kind of awesome. And like it shows kind of how well they did Infamous 2 in New Orleans and everything. But yeah, like there's a whole thing with like voodoo and like all these like kind of like a prophecy kind of thing, even though it's not like the chosen one kind of prophecy. But yeah, it's honestly really good. I definitely say to check this series out. It's really fun, and it is kind of cool. Even like how Cloak disappears, where like instead of it being like in any other show, it's just kind of like his disappearance just and then comes back. It's just like something quick like that, which is kind of really cool. Or like just like her summoning daggers that just cut through anything almost. And seeing like as they slowly develop their abilities, like Dagger at one point kind of has a hyperbolic time chamber kind of thing going on, where like what felt like seconds in the actual world, she learns she's been there for like years, and she learned how to like throw the daggers and learn how to control her abilities better, while Cloak kind of has to catch up with his abilities, especially towards the end where he finally learns like he can absorb people into like a subspace. But I do hope though, because like Cloak does get his actual cloak, like the one that it looks like in the comics and stuff like that, but he kind of gets torn up by like the end of the series, by the end of this season. So I kind of want to know, like, I want him to remake that cloak, because like they give him like his brother's hoodie, which was like, okay, cool, because like she took the hoodie when she was a little girl, because the two of them as little kids who fell in the lake found each other somehow because they're powers and woke up on a beach. She took his brother's hoodie that he was wearing, and he took her ballerina slipper, and it's like white, black, and stuff like that. It's like kind of like a yin and yang kind of thing, how like their abilities how that work, which is cool. But like she wears it for like years on end because that's kind of like almost like a security blanket for her. But yeah, it's a cool thing, and I like that. It's a good show. I like it. I don't even think that was my original point in that part. But anyways, it's a cool. But like yeah, so now he's wearing a hoodie. But I'm kind of hoping he gets his cloak back soon. And New Orleans is honestly kind of a cool place to mess around with, even though I don't know if they actually record New Orleans. Kind of hope they do. But yeah, like New Orleans is actually kind of a really cool place I want to check out at some point. I want to actually go visit there, especially try their gumbo. But in any case, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. This show is awesome. I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching the videos, and we will.